What a do, skibbity boo, it's your boy Shawnee B Gaming, and today we're going to be going over the 7.10 patch notes, the Trickster God. We're going to be going over the item changes, the God changes, the new Loki Rework, and all of the other information they have in this patch. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. First, we're going to start with the item changes, and the first item to receive a change is Atalanta's Bow, and it's going to be nerfed. Decrease the attack speed from 30% to 25%, and decrease the movement speed while attacking and strafing from 40% to 30% of your movement speed. I think this is a pretty good change. Atalanta's Bow is probably one of the most picked up items on Hunters. Fits in with almost every build because it has attack speed and that 20% penetration. So I think this nerf should bring it in line with some of the other items. Silver Branch Bow is getting a decreased attack speed from 35% to 30%. For me, I'm not seeing a lot of Silver Branch Bow builds in my games, so I feel like this is kind of out of nowhere. I think that Silver Branch Bow is a good item in the right build, but they're just decreasing the attack speed by 5%. Doesn't even seem like that much of a change. Gladiator Shield is receiving a rework. They're decreasing the cost from 2,500 to 2,400. Gladiator Shield was a staple in solo lane before the mid-season patch. After the mid-season patch, they changed the item to where it had this weird passive that didn't really feel like it had a place. Its old passive, you would deal bonus damage 15 plus 2 per level if the enemy was below 50% health. Now they're going to change the passive to where if the enemy is below 60% health, they're going to change it to where you deal 15% damage plus 25% of your total protections. This can come from magical, physical items, or your abilities. And I know it says 35, but in the bonus update down below, they say 25. Emperor's Armor. They're increasing the physical protections from 40 to 50. This item has a pretty unique passive. It increases the attack speed of your tower and structures, and decreases the attack speed of enemy towers and structures if you're standing within a certain radius. This item does not get picked up a whole lot, so hopefully increasing the physical protections by 10 will give this item a little bit more life in the game. Hide of the Nemean Lion, increased protections required per block stack from 100 to 120. I think this is a good change. Hide of the Nemean Lion is a very strong defensive item, and I feel like they're really struggling to kind of find a place for it. Next up, we're going to be going over the God changes. The first God to get a change this patch is going to be Onher. His jump, Disperse, decreased setup time from 0.275 seconds to 0.15 seconds. Decrease the leap time from 0.97 seconds to 0.85 seconds. His leap is now quicker and he starts leaping more quickly. Just the other day, I swear I leaped with Onher, but somebody was able to get the pick on me right as I was jumping, and it left me baffled. So I'm glad that this change is about to happen. I think by increasing how reliably he can get his jump off, he might get picked up a little bit more. Apollo is the next god to receive a change. His 3, or his dash, the moves, decrease setup time from 0.2333 seconds to 0.15 seconds. Decrease the dash time from 0.65 seconds to 0.58 seconds. He travels the same distance in less times and starts traveling quicker. I think these are both good changes. Ares is receiving a change to his bolster defense. The original change was adding HP 5. It was on a scale of 10 to 30. After some PTS, they realized that this wasn't quite enough, so they increased that to now it's going to provide 25 HP 5 at level 1 and 45 HP 5 at level 5. Then we have Artio. Artio is receiving a buff to her energy surge. It's more of a revert. Increase energy surge heal from it was on a scale of 40 to 120. Now it's going to be on a scale of 60 to 140, so plus 20 at all levels. Baron Somdi, Vivid Gaze, increase magical power scaling from 60% to 70%. It's now going to be 80.5% when hitting an enemy with both beams compared to the 69% where it was before. Next up, we have Fenrir. His Unchange, which is his 1 and his jump, increased the base damage from a scale of 75 to 315. Now it's going to be on a scale of 85 to 325, so plus 10 at all ranks. And his ultimate, Ragnarok, increased the movement speed buff from 50% to 75%. Hachiman, his Eagle Eye, increased the bonus damage for under 55 range. It was on a scale of 10 to 25. And over 55 range, which was on a scale from 0 to 15, have both been increased to a scale of 10 to 30 damage. This ability now deals the same amount of damage at all ranges. I think this is a good change. I think having it do more damage at close range and less damage at long range was kind of It's an interesting mechanic, but it's not really a needed mechanic by any means. Osiris, his Sickle Strike increased physical power. It was on a scale of 40%, now it's going to be 45%. Lord of the Afterlife, they're going to increase the maximum range of the leap from 55 units to 65 units. Sir Ket, her Ambush, increased the physical power scaling on this ability from 50% to 70%. So a plus 20% on the 3, that's a pretty large increase in power scaling. Not a lot of gods receive a plus 20% power scaling. Cobra's Kiss decreased the cooldown from 18 seconds to 16 seconds. And the last god we have on the list is Vamana. His ultimate, Colossal Fury, decreased the movement speed penalty for attacking, backpedaling, and strafing by 20% while this ability is active. Up next, we're going to be going over the Loki Rework. The Loki Rework. I'm always excited for a rework. They usually bring a character that's kind of underperforming and bring them back in line with a lot of other characters. So with Loki, in general, they're increasing the basic attack damage on the initial hit from 80% to 100% of the damage. Behind You, which is his passive, now has an additional interaction with Agonizing Visions and Flurry Strike. Vanish, Loki will now fade into stealth quickly rather than instantly. If Loki takes damage while stealth, he'll be revealed for 0.33 seconds. The audio for this ability has been adjusted. Friendly Loki stealth is slightly quieter. Enemy Loki stealth has an additional laughter component to help it stand out. Decoy, which is Loki's old 2, has been removed from the game and replaced with Agonizing Visions. Agonizing Visions, which is Loki's new 2, Loki summons a vision of his tortured past at a target location for 4 seconds. Enemies in range of the vision feel the poison themselves, taking damage and having their damage dealt reduced. This effect stacks up to 4 times. If an enemy god gets 4 stacks, they become blinded, allowing Loki to benefit from behind you from any direction for 3 seconds. So the damage is going to be 13 to 33 per tick. The damage dealt is going to be minus 5% for 2.5 seconds. And then there's a note that says this ability will still body block enemies. And then in the PTS, they have a note that says that decrease the animation times from 0.3 seconds to 0.1 second. Aim Strike, which was Loki's old 3, has been removed and replaced with Flurry Strikes. Flurry Strike, Loki unleashes a flurry of 5 dagger strikes quickly in front of him, damaging enemies. After this flurry, he winds up for a final heavy strike that deals higher damage and slows enemies' hit. This ability can benefit from behind you. So the flurry is going to deal 15 to 55 damage per strike, and then the final hit is going to deal 40 to 140 as you level it up, and the slow is going to be 30% for 3 seconds. That's a pretty heavy slow. 30% is the same as Frostbound. Then, Loki's ultimate has been reworked. Assassinate has undergone a heavy adjustment in its functionality. Upon activation, Loki teleports to his ground target location. If an enemy god is within a radius, Loki will slice the target, doing damage and crippling them for 1 second. After he teleports, he'll wind up a heavier strike, damaging all enemies in front of him and stunning them. So there is a cripple damage, a heavy damage, and a stun for 1 second. This ability has kept the teleport, poof, and warning sounds in addition to the new sounds to convey the buildup of the stun attack. Up next, we're going to be going over the Godskins. So taking a look at the new skins, the first new skin that we're going to have is the Gummy Worm Medusa, which is going to be exclusive to the Odyssey event. Then we have the Sniper Tech Raw, which is also going to be exclusive to the Odyssey event. And this skin is pretty darn cool. When Raw ults, he pulls out a bazooka and then shoots a giant line attack. Primal Spirit Sir Nunos is going to be a Odyssey reward. This skin looks a little too close to a Mastery skin for me. It doesn't look anything like Churnos, but it has the exact same colors of the Mastery skin, so it doesn't look that new to me. However, this Vampiress Amaterasu looks fantastic, and Hi-Rez knows what they're doing. They're putting all the best skins in an exclusive Halloween chest. Then we have the Pumpkin Spice Discordia, which also looks like a fantastic skin. I love the little cat hanging out of the pumpkin. And then since Loki is getting a rework, he's also going to be receiving a recolor. This is basically just the standard Loki skin, but they're just changing the colors around a little bit. Stealth Slayer Loki will be available this patch. Next, we're going to be going over some of the additional information in this patch. For game modes, if you are new to Smite and this is your first year, once a year, Smite will try to do something called adventure modes, where they kind of take all the Smite characters and they create a brand new mode. One of my favorite examples was Smite Racing. It was basically Smite characters racing around the track, kind of like a bad Mario Kart without all the fun stuff. Anyway, it was really cool, and I'm glad that they venture out and do stuff like this. So they left a note, as the fall season is upon us, so is the return of Smite adventure modes. The team is fully focused on creating the brand new Season 8 Conquest map, so we won't be bringing any new adventures out this year. We will be revisiting Classic Joust, Domination, and Corrupted Arena over the next 3 updates. We are aware that Medusa's deathmatch is a fan favorite, but the 3-team UI of this mode creates many problems in the game and is preventing us from bringing this mode back. If you don't know what Medusa's deathmatch is, it was 3 teams fighting. Pretty fun mode. And in this patch, the Classic Joust mode has been enabled for this update and only this update. So kind of based on this, what I imagine they're going to do with the adventures this year is they're just going to release a game mode per patch. So we have Classic Joust, the next one is probably going to be Domination, followed by Corrupted Arena. Next, we have bug fixes, and I love bug fixes, these always give me a little laugh. With the UI, fixed an issue where players were unable to open settings using the escape key after leaving the Odyssey. Odyssey fixed an issue where incorrect art was displayed. Skin order bug, owned versus unowned. The new sorting showing skins by release date will once again show owned skins before unpurchased skins. General gameplay and Conquest fixed an issue where the ability audio would not be heard from certain distances or positions. No more silent raw ults. Fixed an issue where the fire giant intro meteor would not appear in certain situations. Fixed an issue where players could pause the game more times than intended. This fix is already live. Fixed an issue where new players were not receiving quest credits for conquest matches below level 3. That's a good one. Joust fixed an issue where Yanis could not place portals on certain areas of the wall. And then Gods, there's some audio and visual clarity. Funkpocalypse Uller is now going to sound more like Uller. Dragonslight Sobek is now going to sound more like Sobek. Howler Demon Hun Bats is going to sound more like Hun Bats. Chibi AMC is going to sound more like AMC. And Cutting Edge Uller has had visual FX updates for clarity reasons. Baba Yaga fixed an issue where sometimes red ingredients had no effect on her potion's damage. That's a cool one. Kabrakan will now only be able to cancel his tremors using the cancel input, right-click on PC. This should prevent occurrences of players accidentally canceling this ability too soon. King Arthur fixed an issue where his self buff from his passive was using the wrong UI icon. Kepri fixed an issue where Abduct would continue to grab an opponent even if Kepri was affected by CC that interrupts this ability. Tsukiyomi fixed an issue where dying during the last show of his ultimate could put him in a state where he's unable to use any abilities. That's always a fun bug, just hanging out in a Smite lobby and not able to use any abilities. Bamana Umbrella Ring fixed an issue where his attack speed slow wasn't working consistently with other attack speed slows. And Tyrannical Plate Helm updated description to be more clear on this item's effects. And that is going to be the end of today's patch notes. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. That really helps these videos out. If you are new to the channel, I usually upload some Smite videos once a day where I play a game of Conquest. I take a look to see what I did right and what I did wrong, and hopefully there's something that we can learn together. I just want to take a moment to thank y'all for stopping by. I hope you have a great day. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.